Talk to me about veganism.
Yeah.
What from the very core of it, like a total bird's eye perspective,
Yeah.
you know, when you think about that whole idea, where do you start?
The animals. If that bulldog was real, and you wanted some ribs tomorrow, and I said, okay, let's kill him, not a single human in the Western world would be okay with that. But a pig, we see it as not worthy of the same treatment, the same love. I'm not saying it deserves to be wandering around a house, but you know that would suffer, and you know just as well the pig will suffer equally to killing either. And yet we make a decision that supports that because our parents did, and because of tradition. And you know, some people are ready to acknowledge, and certainly since the first time we ever talked, you must have seen the rise of veganism. It's not just a dietary choice; it's a real lifestyle, and it's growing, and people are starting to come around to it. People are starting to, first and foremost, they're starting to try vegan food and realising it's not rabbit food, and they go, actually, you know, my friend had some vegan sausages the other day, and he said, oh, if it tastes just as good and it's doing less harm to the planet and it's better for me, oh, I'm going to do it then. And it was as simple as that, and that's what it is. You can get food that tastes just as good, it's better for the planet, it's better for you, and as you said, first and foremost, there's no victims. We just don't see victims. That's the real issue, is we don't see cows or chickens or fish. We don't see them as victims. We don't see it from their perspective. We only ever see what we're missing if we were to give that up. But you don't see that fish when you pull it on the fisherman pulling the fish out of the water has the same indifference as the guy in China killing the dogs. But we're not going to judge the fisherman because we just don't care for the fish. We don't see them as equal victims. But for the fish, there's a being in there. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's nothing. It's just a robot in God's creation, whatever. But maybe there's a being there that we can perceive when we see animals. We can see they suffer. That's going around, suffocating, flapping around. You can see this person with a hook been tricked out of the water, and we're so indifferent to that.
When did you first start noticing this? Because you said you've been vegan since 2012.
Yeah.
So when we first spoke, you were vegan.
Yeah.
You weren't talking about it so much. When did it start to click for you?
Once you see it, it really opens up to you.
Okay.
Once you start to and when you have the experience more, a year into veganism, 2 years, 3 years now, I'm healthier than ever, feeling younger than ever, and I'm going, how are we still doing this? We all, at least most people now, acknowledge that there's no point, that vegans are just as healthy. On the BBC the other day there was a documentary and they admitted that vegans live the longest out of any lifestyle choice. On the BBC they've finally gotten around to admitting this, and it's cool. So you acknowledge...
Your average person probably wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, but that was the statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, people might not agree with that.
UFC fighters, not many vegan UFC fighters. A few.
There's a few.
Few.
Yeah.
Because this has been debated for a while. Like I've known a few of them, and people have talked about the pros and cons and that kind of thing.
For people that care about peak performance, I'm not the guy to say this is better for peak performance or this, but I'm caring about peak person, peak human being. We all are against creating needless suffering. You against animal cruelty?
Yes.
Just where we draw the line of what's cool to an animal is different, because you'll happily pay someone to kill a cow so that you can eat his ribs. But you just don't, so you see that's, people that aren't vegan see that as okay, or people go, okay, you know what, you're right, but I've got this addiction, and that's fine. If people have, tradition, habit, and they can't get out of it, and they go, you know what, Tim, or vegans, I can see that animals don't need to suffer and you guys are perfectly healthy, but I'm just struggling with my own demons here. I wake up in the morning, I want that bacon sandwich. I go, okay, that's fine, that's your struggle, dude.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.